Hello there, and welcome back to episode 5 of my tutorial series for Necesse. So, from this point on, we're going to go deeper into the whole progression scheme. What I did in between the episodes was going downstairs, farming a ton of spider glands, and crafting that spider set. This spider set gives you mediocre stats armor-wise, but it gives you summoning slots. As you see there, you gain +1 max summons via the set, and +1 max summons via the helmet. So all in all, you get a grand total of 3 summons, and the spider staff is also really nice. It summons a flock of spiders. The other thing that I did in between was farming a lot of that starter boss. I highly recommend to do so, as every single entity in this game has a lot of loot. And the different foci here, they were only findable after grinding the dude a couple of times, and that brings you the balanced foci. Give me a sec here. So you can combine all those 4 into 1, which increases your global damage by 15%. The real interesting part is that later down the road we can upgrade that another time, and that's when that thing gets really good. So altogether, just a slight example of what you can do. So I didn't do too much for the sake of new things. I just did grind a lot. So we did I went downstairs for crafting a lot of these demonic bars, so a lot of ore things and the like. But yeah, nothing you don't know about yet. That's what I'm trying to boil it down to. So the thing is, to progress further, we now need to unlock other biomes, and you can go for your settlement in whatever way you want. You can, at this point now, build up a really large city with everything that belongs to it, or you can leave it as crappy and cruddy as I did. Two things, though, I want to mention. For one, get yourself some wheat going so you can get yourself some animals growing, because I personally find that extremely useful to have your personal supply of wool and leather. My leather here died via the evil's protector, but yeah. Where we want to go next is into an icy biome. So ready your ladders and let's get started. So the first thing we require is, as a matter of fact, really a ladder. The map outside there has always another underground below each tile. So we're going to go here with the recall scrolls, and that dash trinket is also with me, and I'm also featuring the spider staff. So as far as things go, I don't want to promote overly the usage of summonings, except for summons are really good. I also got myself a Blood Bolt book, which is also really a fantastic spell, as it is a homing missile. But in a grand total, whether you use the hammer or a void axe, or void axe, demonic axe, or a demonic bow, it's really very similar. So here in the icy biome, we get a new notification about new things that we get there. So one of the very first things that I always recommend you to do is check out where you can find yourself some trees and get yourself some of these to have some saplings for your hometown. Each of these wood types brings in an entire palette of new furniture. So if you are into the decoration game, this is really something that you want to have in your home turf. The polar bears are pretty sassy little guys. They are like their own little mini bosses. I wouldn't touch them if I were you when you're just starting out. And besides that, there's also the ice flowers to be found. These are very important later for alchemical reasons and for your freezer, because these can also go into a freezer. Therefore, ice blossoms are really important to pick up a few, so feel free to do so. And last but not least, here we have the blackberry bushes. These are also very cool things to pick up, as in this game, you gotta see it like that. There's a lot of different recipes that you can go for. and they often require a certain ingredient, and therefore every type of food is highly desirable. Alright, so we got the most basic things that we wanted from the surface. You could now go hunting those penguins or hunt that ice bear. I'll leave that up to you. The ice bear also has a couple of drops that you might want to have, but with his 1000 HP he's really hard to kill. Alright, let's go downstairs into the icy biome, and here our spiders are already doing the job. This is, by the way, the reason why I advocate the usage of summons so much, as it really frees up your hands tremendously. You can explore so much easier when your summons are doing the job, and besides that, they also deal a fantastic amount of damage. There we go. So, we got ourselves the fetch quest from the Elder Dude already done. There's one more thing that I want to do. You see these blue particles in the wall? That's frost shard. Frost shard is the new material here in this biome. You also get snowstone, but yeah, frost shard is the unique resource here. There we go, that's pretty lucky, eh? So, get yourself a good stockpile of frost shard, as you want this stuff to craft yourself a suit of better gear. Here things get a little bit complicated, as you want to keep the spider suit, probably for the summons, but I'll show you around that probably. If I remember correctly, the frost shard has a summoner set as well. But, alright, let's use our fantastic book. So here, this is where you, yeah, here, the frost set has has no summoning option, exactly like I have. You can get yourself some icy gear out of that. You can get yourself the cooling box done, which will increase the longevity of your food. There's frost bullets. And there's also an entire set of weaponry there. So, well, you don't need to upgrade every single tier there. It is really, really not necessary. But whenever you notice that your gear feels a little bit outdated and you want something new, the new materials in the most recent biome are always way to go. So, as you see there, these dudes here have a very, very similar drop table to what we've got before, but the very interesting things are here in the treasures segment. All in all, this is something that goes true for all new biomes that you will enter. You will always find new stuff that that you want, especially trinkets. That thing with the trinkets is really a recurring theme in this game, and I'd even go as far to say that I highly recommend you to try to get all the recent trinkets out of a biome, and we are super lucky. So I found a labyrinth gauntlet here. These are relatively rare. When you find one of these, the downstairs in a dungeon, that is always a sign that you find yourself something like this. So this is a challenge track level. I'm not going to play here because I'm not down to that. I just want to show you here. So here you get a information about how to do it. These things are all made the same, and they all lead to these chests with a few gold piles at the end of it. They're pretty cool to find, and yeah. It's not the direction where I want to take the tutorial right now, though. So altogether, when you got yourself the spider set, you are really well prepared to do most of the things down here that you need to do. That's a really, really cool part, because I strongly believe in the power of summonings in this game. They're really, really fantastic little friends there. And combined with a couple of items there, like the hammer or the blood bolt, like you see, it's hardly any challenge, and that's pretty nice, you know? The game becomes challenging quickly enough, don't you worry. So there we go. So what are we waiting for now? Well, basically, what you would be doing now are two things. For one, you would want to farm as many frost shards as possible. We were extremely lucky on that end with those rich veins at the beginning. And the other thing is you would want to here look for these little cavities where you can find the seeds of the region. Every region subterrane has a oh, that's a pretty nifty one. Has a couple of plants that are new to be found there. Well, sometimes more, sometimes less. I think there is an overlap between the desert and the swamp, but I'll talk about that once we get there. And the other thing that you that you could be looking for if you'd wanted to is here down there. There it is. I found it. Is the royal egg. There it is. If you trigger this by attacking it, you're spawning the local biomes boss. You can also craft it for yourself, which I would actually recommend to do so, as it is much more reliable to succeed against that boss. All right, let's go quickly home via scroll recall and have a sleepover and prepare for a bad boss. So when it comes down to these boss fights, there are a lot of different ways how you can pull it off. There is like this summoning strategy that I'm pulling off. You could also go for ranged weaponry with those frost shards that we've harvested, but you could also go for villagers that that you can employ there. For myself, I want to see if I can find a very, very rare and elusive friend out here called, well, I call him Stabby. Maybe you know who I'm talking about. So here there's an apple tree. These are also very, very valuable little friends that you can get into your settlement incorporated. But, well, I'm not sure if I'll find it here. Sometimes you find Stabby, sometimes you don't. But in a nutshell, what you're looking for is a freaky looking blueberry bush. This is a rare summoning item. Well, it seems as if we're not getting lucky here this time. Okay, so I'm going to show you another little nifty trick so you can make your life easier. The next boss is, either way, a little bit more on the difficult side, due to a simple reason. You have either a summoner set, which is not really good at tanking, because the spider is a little bit weak, or you have a ranged set, which is a little bit weak on the summoning side, because you can't go for the summoning stuff. So you can either go for frost gear and a spider helmet for 2 summons, or you look if you can find yourself a stabby little friend. That would have helped too. But we are here now going to the local dungeon entrance. The dungeon is the area where the Elder will send you after you have braved the icy depths. But as a matter of fact, it is a pretty good spot to go to begin with for the loot of some specific item. Ah, well, let's take those nunchucks, why not? I'm dumping here a couple of items that I don't want to have. This game is so insanely cluttery. It's sometimes really, really killing me. Ah, well. There's fertilizer in that box, if you ever wanted some. But here, there we go. There's void apprentices. These are not exactly what we're after. These guys are really strong, so be careful. But together with your spiders, you are capable of doing so. Void shards. This is what we're after. So we're now going to go very, very carefully downstairs there to gather ourselves some void shards. Preferably, you let you farm those guys upstairs. That's also a really nifty, easy idea. But yeah, you can also go downstairs into the dungeon. Down here, you can loot books and all manner of different furniture. But I'm going to cover the dungeon in a different episode, a little bit more specifically. But feel free to get in there and grab yourself some stuff. The zombies in here are enchanted. So they're basically like regular zombies, only stronger. Ah, here, there's a lightning hammer. That's also a really good weapon. But it's a faulty one with minus damage, so I don't want to take it. The lightning hammer is a short-range weapon, short-range version of your regular heavy hammer. Also minded traps here. There's always pressure plates. Well, we're unlucky with the void apprentices here. There we go. The void apprentices are the most reliable sources of these items there. Ah, and there I went into a trap. Also worth mentioning that your summons are kind of immortal. They're not being wounded by these things. You can also dislodge these traps and pick them up and either disarm them that way or incorporate them into your own base. It is up to you. Ah, that's more like it. I'm really surprised about the low density of void apprentices here. Ah, there we go. Oh, only 2 more shards. With these void shards, you can do a lot of different things. But I'm here only for one specific thing. I already got it, and I highly recommend not to go too far here. Only go for the what you wanted here. And the next quest, kill the queen spider. Wonderful. Okay, so with that thing, we can now craft that thing. Blood volley. That's why we went in there. If you have the blood bolt item, which is easily craftable with books and bat wings, you can make this. And well, this is just a very souped up version of what we've started with, and it's a really nice item. And I personally think it is all you need for the spider. Okay, so we're sort of ready right now. Let's get this started. Now, we're going to move back to the icy biome, and like I said initially, feel free to find your own way of how you want to do it, and look for those freaky blueberry bushes in those plains. Highly recommend to get yourself a stabby at some point, as this is an insanely powerful item. But I'll showcase that on another occasion. Right now, I don't want to promote the usage of overpowered things too much, as it is really not necessary for this boss. It helps, though. Every little bit helps. And you shouldn't feel bad about whooping the butts of the enemy bosses, because the game grows hard quickly enough, believe me. Alright, in my potion pouch, I'm going to sip now in a resistance potion. Let's see, speed potion doesn't hurt either. Attack speed potion, sure, why not. Rapid potion for more projectile velocity, not bad. Mana regen potion, for sure. And battle potion. As you see here, the potion effects, there is, the sky is the limit. Alright, let's refresh that regen potion if we can, and let's get ourselves downstairs. So, there's a royal egg down here, and one thing that I want to do real quick before I get started, and I really recommend you to do so as well, is free up the terrain a little bit. Get yourself a nice big arena to walk through, because you'll really need some room to navigate through against this boss. Alright, that should really work out. Okay. Light it up as decently, because, you know, light is your friend. And let's pop the spider. There we go. The queen spider does follow you anywhere. It is just, you know, you can drag that battle to wherever you want. But as you see here, the Blood Volley spell does deal a really good amount of damage. Does drain your mana though, that's why we were sipping a mana regen potion initially. There we go. And if it charges at you, You can just simply counter that via dashing yourself. That's why the dash trinket is so good. Alright. Going for the hammer for a second here, because I can't really reach the boss well. As you see here, this is also a reason why I went for the for freeing up the terrain here. As this thing is, yeah, now it's doing this thing again. So I can also right-click the Queen Spider while having my summoning item selected to tell my spiders to focus the spider. You see that red stuff on the ground? That is damage over time terrain, and you shall not stand in there, right? Alright. Ordering your summons on the Queen Spider is extremely important. I don't know if you have realized it, but their DPS went up through the roof since I did that. Also, mind you, the enemies really grow up to their full potential when they are at 25% HP and below. Before that, most enemies are honestly in the well, pretty tame region. So the really nasty part begins once the enemy is angry, so to speak. So here again, the spider. Whoop. Okay. The Queen Spider has dropped now the Frost Piercer, which is another summoning item. A Cave Spider Gland, but as you see there's still a plenitude of items that we are not seeing yet. What kind of item drops here is absolutely random, by the way. So here we have now a Mindful Frost Piercer. And as you see there, this thing does not use summon slots. This is an interesting item, as we can use it together with ore spiders. So whatever you have found now from the Queen Spider, I personally think the smartest thing you can do here next is to get yourself the reward from your Elder and craft yourself more of these eggs and farm that boss a bit. Do that with every boss that you have beaten. In my opinion, this is an excellent way of getting new gear on yourself. So I'm going to showcase the boss fight one more time for those of you who felt like that was over a little quick. As you can see here, we went with this pretty easily with the relatively low quality armor that I'm wearing there. It's really not much armor value, but the armor potion carried me well there. And just a couple of summons. And the more often you kill that thing, the easier it'll get. So, Glenn the Elder. Whoop-dee-doop-dee. Come on, dude. So, you get also an ammo pouch. That is really nice. So the ammo pouch henceforth will collect all that stuff that you just loot ammo-wise, but yeah. It doesn't pick up shuriken and the stuff, sadly. It's not working like that. You might have noticed how much effect these potions had in that fight. This is generally a thing. Buff potions are insanely powerful, and therefore pilfering the depths and just smashing crates open is an excellent way of getting yourself more resources. This really works out well. And whoa, I forgot what I actually wanted to do. Craft that thing. But yeah, the spider is really on the easy side. Just the last few seconds of the fight are really nasty to do. Mind you also, you can't summon the spider anywhere else. You will need the icy biome to get there. So let's see, how many items do I miss? So it's 5 items, so we need 5 more runs of that thing. Sadly, you can't stack these, so it's a little bit annoying, but well, it is what it is. And I don't know if I was just always very lucky, but I was living under the impression that these bosses always drop the stuff that you haven't seen first. And then after that, after they have unveiled basically all of their items that they can drop, things get repetitive from that point on. So, yeah. I mean, you don't need to farm bosses by all means. I don't want to give you a wrong impression about this whole thing, but I've made the experience that on my other gameplay accounts that I went through with this game, I always returned eventually to farm out those bosses because it's just so good to have done that. As you see here, those ice thingies, they're amazing. You can just spam them and let them do their thing. So we're only going for a resistance potion this time, and I think that should be okay. Let's try it with lower resources this time. All right. So right-click the boss spider, so my little summons go all in on that, and I prefer to use the blood bolt item whenever I can reach the guy, and when I can't reach the guy, I'll be using the new icicles there. Once the spider is in this dash thing, it always does 3 of these dashes, by the way. There we go. Generally, this battle becomes harder the lower your DPS is. So if you get yourself some enchantment scrolls that allow you to soup up your blood bolt spell a little bit more, that would help as a matter of fact too. Ugh. That stupid spider there went in there. So yeah. By the way, if you die, the boss battle gets reset, so fight mindfully. There we go. Boss is now too far away or not visible, so we're taking the intelligent ammo. And at times it can be also very, very smart to just kite your enemy and wait until your potion timer is back up. So as you see there, I'm not really that strong yet to easily fight this thing with the without the help of many potions. This is mostly the fault mostly the fault of the spider suit and the fact that I'm talking non-stop. That also really worsens my performance. I've seen that many times. But here, you see, we found now a spider charm. So being hit poisons the attacker, and we gain resilience. All right. Resilience is cool, as resilience are temporary HP that you gain when you hit stuff. And yeah, from this point on, I'll do that behind the scenes to farming the rest of the Spider Queen, and I'll see you all on the next video then. I really hope this was helpful for you. Yeah, I'm accidentally marking Diana for death here. I actually wanted to hire that miner. So don't mark people for death. She needs gold ore. Anyways, friends, that's that. Next episode, we're going to go for the dungeon and the further progression that you can do from that point on, namely the desert and the swamps. I think the order of things is a little bit different. So I'll be working on the guides for that stuff in the meantime, so give me my time to get those things together. I hope you find these helpful. As usual, leave your comments, leave a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and feel free to support the channel. I'd be very, very delighted if you did so. Links for doing so are down below. And many thanks to everybody watching these videos. Supporting the channel by watching videos is also amazing, and yeah, I've lost enough words about all that. Thanks for being around, and see you all the next time. Bye bye.